subscribers, thanks very much for getting on board with me. It has been a really good ride, but let's get into the test match. That last wicket just then by Boomer getting Sibley out was very, very important in the context of the game. Now, tomorrow you've got Stokes coming in. He has a lot of trouble against Ashwin. Now, Ashwin's needing a lot of rest tonight after the overs that he bowled today, so he'll be on song. That contest between Ashwin and Stokes tomorrow morning could turn the game back in India's favour. But firstly, we're all Indian fans and English fans out there watching this test match. We've got to pay tribute to Joe Root. In his third test match, or second test match over in India, I think he made his first 100 in Rajkot in Indian soil. So his 100th test match, he's made another 100. It was absolutely brilliantly played. Now, I thought he was in a little bit of trouble early on against Ishant Sharma, who was just getting a little bit of reverse swing, but he got through that tough period, and the way that he played the spinners was superb. He used his feet. He went to his sweep shot, and when it was slightly short, he pushed it through the square region, and England didn't have any answers. Also, I thought Sibley contributed well. He did a Pujara job, just batted all day and batted around Joe Root. So that partnership was extremely good. Now, where it went wrong for India wasn't their three main bowlers in Boomer, Ishant Sharma and Ashwin. They weren't supported by Nadeem and Sundar. They just couldn't apply the pressure to two off spinners. And you can look back and think, should have they played Kuldeep Yadav? Yes, but I don't think Kuldeep would have done well on day one on this particular wicket. It's slow, not bouncing enough. So I think the Indian selectors were in their rights to go with the options that they did. But there's one thing that I'm worried about with Nadeem. He was dropping his head there out point. He's got to lift his head up because he's in the game. He started to bowl over the wicket at Joe Root and try and attack the rough outside the leg stump, and it was starting to turn and bounce, and there was a few opportunities that started to create for him there just before the new ball was taken. So he should see the positive out of that. Sundar, he might come into play in the second innings when they bowl. Just quickly, I thought Boomer was sensational today. Yes, he got that last wicket of Sibley, but the way that he set up Lawrence early in the game, Lawrence just new to Test cricket. There was a couple of slow deliveries just outside off stump, or when I say slow, around about 130 Ks, not his normal pace. But then he just set him up beautifully, just attacking that top of off stump, and then bang, the quicker 140 Yorker out the stumps. Lawrence had no idea, and I'm afraid, Mr. Lawrence, you're going to have to go back and have a look at your technique against Boomer, because I think he's got the better view. Moving forward tomorrow, I think for India, I think they've got good game plans. Joe Root looks as though he's cramping a little bit there. They've got to keep the pressure on him. But Ashwin against Ben Stokes in the first couple of overs, first 10 overs is very important. If they get through him, Ollie Pope, not used to Indian conditions, Butler also struggles over there as well. They can fight their way back into this contest. There's plenty of cricket to be played. I think England need to be at least 500 out the end of this innings. If they don't get there, I think India will bat long in the first innings, get in front and put the pressure on England, and probably get a 100 lead. England will have to fight back, and I don't think they'll get there. India batting in the last innings is going to be quite tough for them, because I think England's spinners in Leach, I think he'll start bowling a bit quicker and get something out of it. So I'm going to try and get the questions here. Just mind you, how to dismiss Joe Root. Okay. All right, it's his 100th test match. I don't really want to go through Joe Root. I want to let him go through and make a big innings, because it's a milestone for him. But how would I dismiss Joe Root? I would try and get him to drive the ball. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to stop that question there. I'd try and get him to come out and play straight. If you watch him, he's looking for the sweep options, but he's also looking for those back foot options to push through the square region. They did cover those areas quite well, but they didn't leave enough gap for him to come down out of the wicket and play straight. He's not comfortable doing that, and straight through the offside. If you leave that gap there, just change it up. I think you change his foot pattern, and I think you'll create a caught and bowled opportunity there and have a short mid on and bang. So basically your mid off is going to be wider in between a cover and mid off type region, and you're trying to entice him just to play wide of the bowler down to the boundary. Okay, what was this one? Sorry for lifting my nose up. I'm going blind at the age of 50 tomorrow. What do you think of day 2 in the first test? For me, I think Boomer is going to start tomorrow against Joe Root. Hopefully there's a little bit of movement in the air for him. So if he can attack Joe Root and Ashwin from the other end attacking Ben Stokes, I think you've got a quality bowling matchup against 2 quality batsmen. And if you get a couple of breakthroughs there, I think England are on the back foot and they'll struggle to get 400. But if those 2 can't get those breakthroughs, I think those 2 particular players will put England in a good position where they'll probably get around about 500. So it depends on the first 10, 15 overs tomorrow with that particular contest. Okay, let me see if I can see this. Will Virat Kohli be able to outscore Root in making a double 100? I can't read the names, but thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for everyone joining me here. Virat Kohli, he's got his work cut out. I'm looking forward to the contest between Leach and Virat Kohli. Remember, Virat Kohli hasn't played didn't play in the last 3 test matches, so he might be a little edgy there, but he could also be fresh. So I think he'll be looking forward to make sure he makes amends after missing the 3 test matches there in Australia. I think he's got something to prove, and I think England are going to be in a little trouble. I think Virat Kohli is going to outscore Joe Root in this particular test match. England will win this series 3-1. Now, that is an English supporter, definitely. If they do, I think they go through the test series against New Zealand. Who'll be the most run scorer in this match? For me, that's a hard one. Pujara or Virat Kohli? I think Pujara is going to be the leading run scorer in this particular match. I think he'll bat through the innings in the first innings and probably make 150, 160 because he'll be rewarded for the toughness that he showed over here in Australia. I'd just like to see him make a big score because he's such a wonderful test batsman. Why is Kuldeep Yadav not playing? This is a very good question. I think the Indian selectors and Virat Kohli would have looked out the pitch before the start of play and just thought it was a little bit too slow and probably not enough bounce there for Kuldeep Yadav to play a huge impact. Remember, the England players like to sweep the spinners. So Kuldeep Yadav not getting that bounce, it plays into the hands of the English batsmen. But the one thing that I've seen with Kuldeep over the last year or two, he's been working on getting a little bit of topspin to his repertoire. And with that variety, I think India probably should have gone with him because he's improving. He's been in the squad. He's been travelling around with India for the last 3 or 4 months, and he hasn't had the opportunity. And when it's there, it wasn't given to him. It must be depleting for him. It must be really affecting his confidence. And I'm going to try and call him over the next couple of days because we're KKR mates and just make sure he's okay because he's a quality bowler and he should be in there. Come on, Ravi Shastri. What are you doing? If Axar Patel was injured, India should have gone for someone like Shardul or Siraj instead of picking the spinners. I think you could be right there. I think they needed something different. I think Washington Sundar, although he does add more with the bat, I think he doesn't add the quality with the ball. Because he bowls similar to Ashwin, but not quite as effective because he gets the bounce. And if you watch the English batters, especially Root, he was able to reverse sweep him easily and sweep him easily. And also Sibley, I just, while we're talking about the spinners, Sibley, I just love the way that he applied himself. He used his height to get to the pitch of the ball, and he didn't allow the likes of Nadeem and Sundar to get confident. And he was able to use his feet, and you could see those two spinners getting frustrated with the way that he was playing because they thought he would have been the easier option than Root. And when the weaker link is on top of the bowling attack, it makes it tough for those young spinners going through. When Ashwin came around the wicket to Sibley early on, Sibley was very unsure, and you could see that his footwork wasn't as precise. So I think tomorrow, I think in the second innings, I think Ashwin will come around the wicket to him straight away, and I think you'll see a different contest there between the Indian bowlers and Sibley. It has been batting friendly. I totally agree with you. It's been slow, and there's not much in this wicket. Okay. Why not 3 pacers and 2 spinners? This will be the last question tonight, guys. 3 pacers. I think when the selectors and the captain looked out the pitch, they knew it was going to be slow. They knew that there wasn't going to be much in the pitch. I looking at it, I think they've done the right thing because this pitch is going to wear. And I think in days 3, 4, and 5, I think we're going to see a lot more turns. So tomorrow, it's very important that India keep the pressure on. And they're batting by the end of day 2 and batting as long as they possibly can by the end of day 3 because they want to get a lead in the first innings. If they don't, England bowling on the final day on this particular wicket, I think they're going to be deadly, and it could be a little bit of trouble for India. But I still think where the match is now, with Sibley getting out tonight, I think India are still are still favourites for this Test match. Now, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for getting on board and subscribing. Get your mates on board as well. There's plenty of cricket to go. This series is going to be nice and tight, especially with the way the English have batted in the first Test match. It's going to be tougher than you think, and it's game on. Have a good day, and good luck to both teams tomorrow. And everyone who's following me, I hope your day does well. And well done to Joe Root on 100 in 100 Test matches. You're an absolute legend. You're an ambassador of the game. You're a fantastic player, one of the greats, and you're a great bloke as well, mate. Well done.